What's going on, everybody? So the day has finally come. I'm going to talk about Windows 11 on the ROG Ally and my experiences over the past couple years with this system using that operating system. I honestly have noticed that Windows 11 has actually ruined my experience a little bit with the ROG Ally. I feel like this system has incredible hardware. It has so much going for it. And all of a sudden, the experience gets ruined all thanks to this operating system. And I feel like Windows has just absolutely destroyed PC handhelds that use Windows. But of course, the main reason why people use Windows operating systems with PC handhelds like this is because of its compatibility. Windows 11 has the best compatibility in the world. But all thanks to PC handhelds like Steam Deck, a lot of people have seen that operating systems can have as much of a robust library as Windows 11 has, but with a different operating system. There are other opportunities to appreciating video games than using Windows 11 on PC if you're a PC gamer. But I think that PC games have gone beyond just the PC genre. I feel like they've become consoles in a way. So when counting those other handhelds like Steam Deck and Legion Go using SteamOS as consoles/PC handhelds, it makes you ask the question, what is so special about those other PC handhelds and why do people appreciate those a lot more than Windows 11? Well, it's because Windows 11 is not a very good operating system. In fact, most of the time it makes my experiences very slow, sluggish on this PC handheld. I feel like I could get way more done using Linux than I can using Windows 11 as a PC handheld specifically. I can do anything from streaming any movie I want to playing any multiplayer game on the PC marketplace that's available for PC handhelds. But ROG Ally can pretty much play every single game on the market, but certain titles do not work as good as they should on Windows 11 using the ROG Ally like they can with using something like SteamOS on a Legion Go or on a Steam Deck. You have so many other options when it comes to those other handhelds. So you might be asking yourself, exactly why did I get something like the ROG Ally? Well, it has the compatibility, yes, but it was the first handheld to use the Z1 Extreme chip before the Legion Go came out and started donning SteamOS with their handheld variants. You have so many more options nowadays. It has been 4 years since people have started thinking about handheld games and handheld gaming in a different light entirely. So I feel like just thinking about the ROG Ally and how outdated it could be because of its operating system has only developed in the past 4 years alone, opposed to something like the Nintendo Switch being outdated over the course of 8 years. Now, 4 years is not a lot of time, but the technology of PC games, 4 years is the equivalent of 15. So when I don't think about the past 4 years alone, I fully embrace this handheld, and ROG Ally to me is one of the best handhelds currently on the market because of its power and compatibility. But when you bring other handhelds like the Legion Go using SteamOS to the picture, then a lot can change in terms of perspective. I feel like the ROG Ally now is not as powerful as it used to be. While handhelds like the Legion Go using SteamOS, even though it has its quirks and its bugs at certain points, is the superior handheld because of its operating system. And seeing just how many games are available and compatible with this PC handheld using SteamOS specifically, it's no wonder why people are moving over and migrating to handhelds that use SteamOS opposed to handhelds that use Windows 11. And Windows 11's compatibility is becoming more and more sparse compared to something like SteamOS and even Nintendo Switch 2. So it's becoming a little dangerous to game on a handheld that uses this operating system. But not only because of its fleeting compatibility, it's mainly because it's just dangerous to use Windows 11 if you care about privacy, security, and well, convenience. This thing just doesn't have the convenience, first of all, but the security and the viruses that come with using Windows 11 actively killed my ROG Ally. I have a decent amount of viruses on this thing, mainly because Windows 11 just can't handle certain types of software, and that is whacked software, right? So it will give you, in theory, a virus, and those viruses affect your computer. So there are a lot of times where this handheld just doesn't work properly, especially when I dock it. And that's a shame because this had so much promise when it was first released and first unveiled by ASUS, but a lot of people saw that as fluff, mainly to cover up the fact that Windows 11 is the operating system that it's using, and it just doesn't have much else going for it in terms of software. But when it comes to hardware, this is a powerhouse. In fact, the ROG Ally using Windows 11 is probably more powerful than something like the Lenovo Legion Go, which has the same Z1 Extreme chip using SteamOS. Now, I'm giving you guys all the information here and the reason why I picked Windows 11, but honestly, I bet you still don't understand why I picked this operating system. Well, that's why I'm making this video. I no longer have a good reason to use this operating system. In fact, the more I look at this PC handheld, the more I kind of regret getting it to begin with, mainly because Windows 11 just makes the whole system work so bad. It's not even funny. I mean, the last time I tried to access anything, Windows 11 wanted me to update or wanted me to do some kind of security measure, and I said, not now, please do it later, do it in another year, I don't care about this. And so I actually pushed all of the updates to a point in time 10 years from now. And that has downright made this work a lot slower, and it's because of that the security isn't as good as it could be. But honestly, it's because of the inconvenience of Windows 11 that the security isn't as good as it could be. And it's the reason why I made that choice to push all of those updates, because it is that inconvenient to use. You would rather take the risk of getting your credit card information stolen than to have that inconvenience of always updating every single week, every single day, or twice a day even. It's just so bad. And the worst part about it is that you're forced to make those updates to your system, even if you don't want to. So that update might confuse your graphics card every once in a while, and it might happen once every 10 updates. Now, considering that there's like hundreds of updates every single year, that circumstance is going to happen to you at least 10 times. And by the 5th time, when you want to play something like Sonic Unleashed on Windows 11, and for some reason it doesn't start, which I'm hoping it does start right now, and when you look at that, it started. There are some times where suddenly it just doesn't start because the redistributables didn't download or weren't located for some reason. And I feel like that is the main problem with Windows 11. Its compatibility is good. And I feel like that is the main flaw with Windows 11. It's so disorganized. Not even the operating system knows where certain folders and certain programs and applications are located. So sometimes applications simply do not start because the operating system is so dumb that it just can't figure and locate those specific applications to start whatever process or software or game you're trying to start. And that's kind of a drag when you have to count on something that's a little slower than you are, which is Windows 11. I feel like Windows 11 has officially become outdated. Even though there's so much good compatibility with it, more and more people are looking into operating systems and devices that are compatible with SteamOS or that are like SteamOS. So when you're thinking about getting a PC handheld, you might want to think twice because, well, Windows 11 is just going to make your PC handheld experience so much worse compared to something like the Steam Deck, Legion Go, and any device that is fully compatible with SteamOS. And there are quite a few these days. I think there are 4 in total. So you have a lot of options to work with, especially if you're trying to avoid a handheld that uses Windows 11. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Windows 11 on ROG Ally. I feel like it's overall made my experience a lot worse, while operating systems like SteamOS made my handheld and portable gaming so much more convenient, and far more convenient than I ever thought it could be. In fact, I'm willing to take back everything I've said about SteamOS in terms of compatibility, because for the past 3 years alone, compatibility has tripled for devices that are using SteamOS and the Steam Deck especially. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good one. Later.